It's time for more Manifesting Original Rich-Bixch Experiences. I'm your host, Ava Bilkey. Welcome back to the More Pod. It is officially summer, which means it is time for our summer astrology forecast. And I can't believe we're here already, but honestly, I'm really looking forward to summer. It's brat summer, I'm calling it now. It's also always Rich-Bixch summer. So I'm super excited to get into our forecast, and to help me do so, today I am welcoming back KJ Atlas, our resident astrologer of business, location, and love, and today, astrologer of summer. So KJ, welcome to the More Pod.
Hey, Ava, it's always good to be back.
I feel like this is my self-indulgent moment every 3 months where we just get to talk about all things astrology, and I'm always so excited for these episodes. So thanks for coming back.
Yes, it's been a wild last season. I feel like so much has happened in our rich bitch spring,
Yes.
and there's lots to maybe catch up on and unpack. What was your spring like?
Yes. Absolutely. Let's take this moment to reflect, because it was a wild spring. And I remember one of the things that you were preparing us for was like this feeling of being in a washing machine and then kind of getting like
Yeah.
spit out. I don't know about you, but I feel like my washing machine like just started its crazy cycle like 3 days ago. But a lot happened. And if I think
Yeah.
about highlights for me, I would have to say, I manifested another awesome tattoo trip to New York City. So, kind of deja vu, because that was my highlight of winter. And now that's also my highlight of spring.
Maybe you need to get one every single season now.
It's true. It'd be easier if I lived there, but I don't.
Well, you have the body real estate.
I
Yeah,
do.
you could do it.
But that was fun for me. I did that in May. Actually just released a pod episode about my time there in Brooklyn for 24 hours. So I had a lot of fun there, had some fun itinerary items coming out of that. And I got the official endorsement from my friend Tiff, who lives in the area. And she was like, "You hit all the good spots." So I feel very validated in this moment in terms of pulling myself together in Brooklyn.
Good for you. I'm proud of you pulling
Thank
yourself together
you.
in Brooklyn.
Yeah, it was good. What about you? What were your spring highlights?
I think the washing machine started for me probably right at the eclipse, like March 25th. So everything feels like a blur. Like the amount of things that have happened to me since March 20th, when all this really started, is astronomical, both good and bad. Um, my living situation became very tense and I need to move, and I'm still working on it. And that was a goal of March. Got blessed with horrible neighbors. So that's been like the undertone of everything. And I've been traveling nonstop. I went to Sedona the first week of April and had a crazy spiritual experience where I met a siren spirit guide named Annabelle, who took me into the depths of discovering new parts of myself to reclaim power. And then shortly after that, I did an event for Goop in Carlsbad. And then I went to Vegas during the Jupiter Cazimi, which means Jupiter was blessing us with good luck. And I won 4 aces at video poker.
Yeah, you
And I
did.
went to Utah. Hell yeah, I did. I never win, but Vegas is on my Jupiter line, so I was supported there and with the Jupiter Cazimi. And then I went to Utah to this very weird experiential resort that was Star Wars themed with a bunch of friends from Portland. That was strange and fun.
I totally forgot about all. You're right. You've had a crazy spring. You've had a
Yeah,
crazy spring. I forgot
and
about
that's
the.
that's not even it. Like it just kept getting crazier and crazier. Like I'm still probably leaving out huge things. right at the end of May, right around my birthday, my grandfather got sicker, and he's been sick for a long time. And then he got really sick, and it was time to come home, and I got to be with him when he passed, which was when Jupiter was conjunct my sun. And so that's usually a very positive transit. And so I always say Jupiter helps you reshape your beliefs. And so I've been very existential and kind of thinking about the process of dying and like what makes for a really good life and a really good ending to your life, because it's something super sacred and beautiful. And looking back, I'm like, oh my God, he had the perfect death.
Oh,
That's a weird thing to say, but if everyone's going to die, it is like the perfect way for that to unfold, to be with the people you love, to not be in pain, to be in your home, not connected to hospital tubes, and to be listening to your favorite music with your favorite people. That's what I would want. Like, I've thought about, what do I want my deathbed playlist to be? And last year, when I knew he was getting really sick, I started to make his deathbed playlist. And so we had it. And then we were listening to all his favorite songs. And he was like, I could tell he was kind of moving. Like, he could hear. He could hear what was going on. And so it was a very spiritual experience for all of us. And then right after that, I flew back and I went to go film something that I can't talk about right now, but it's insane. So, hi, it's been a freaking ride.
you have had the craziest ride, and yeah, I my condolences for the passing of your grandfather. I know it's never easy, but it sounds like, to your point, it happened in like the best possible way. And so I think that's really
Yeah.
beautiful that that transition felt good for you and your family. And it's not
Well, I
easy.
always say, like, in astrology, your Uranus return is when you're 84, and that is the moment where it's kind of this idea of like, you've had every wild or interesting experience you could possibly have. Like, at 84, you've lived the complete life span of like the modern life, because Uranus is a modern astrology planet. Like, it wasn't discovered until the 1800s. And so now we have long lifespans. And so it's like, if you lived to 84, what more can you ask for? And he died at 84. He's turning 85 this year. And so
Oh,
we're going to have a big birthday party for him in October, which is what he would have wanted. He would have wanted everyone to have a party with like lots of Miller Lights, because he always said he was on a 1,000-calorie diet of a side salad and 9 Miller Lights. So that's what we're going
oh,
to do in October for Joe.
that sounds sweet.
It's good. And so I'm just like, I really hope that for the summer, we get to have a little bit of soothing balm to prepare us for the next washing machine, which is fall, but I'm not going to get ahead of ourselves. So that's what I'm manifesting for summer, is like, can we just chill? Can we
Yeah,
relax?
I'm there too. And so, wow, such a huge reflection on spring. I'm looking forward to maybe some soothing. Would you say soothing or smoothing balm? I'm like, either way, some balm for summer. It's in the cards. I hope.
Yeah, either way sounds really good.
I hope, but I think there's one other update you had for us when it comes to what happened this spring
Which part?
about the Grove Almanac.
Oh my God. Yeah. So Bridget is my lovely partner in life and also the business. And we created the Grove together in January, February, March. And I'm going to ask her to come here. Hey, Bridget.
Hi, Bridget.
Hey, Ava.
Welcome to the More Pod.
How's it going?
It's
I'm
so
so
good.
excited to be here.
So good.
So, what I was just saying is that we created the Grove Almanac together. I wrote everything, and Bridget is very good with technology, and so she inputted everything and made sure it was smooth and beautiful and logistically aligned. And I was creating and writing, I wrote, there's multiple Cazimis, which is a transit, and she's like,
Yeah.
what's a Cazimi?
Yep. The word is just great.
It's a great word, right?
It's fun to say.
Yeah.
So we made a sales goal with calendar that we met, which was amazing. And thank you to everybody that purchased. And
Yeah.
so I got a tattoo, like I said I would.
Yeah, she did. She got a Cazimi tattoo, and she's like, I love that word. She's like, what does it mean? I was like, well, it means in the heart of the sun, because when the Cazimi happens, it's a planet that's in the heart of the sun. It's almost like it blows it up, and It's just a great word. And she's a Leo. And so can you like hold your leg up and
Bridget, let
show
me
my
it?
leg
see.
up into the camera.
Yeah, let me see. Let us see this Cazimi tattoo.
Is
Yes.
no free feet pics.
Whoa. Those
So
expensive
it says
feet pics.
Cazimi. And what we've discovered is that on the other side, she has a sun tattoo that she and I got a long time ago because I have the moon on my leg. And
Oh my
so
God.
she's got sun and Cazimi on opposite legs, and we didn't even realize it until it was done that they're
See,
related.
it was meant to be. Bridget, I love that you really
Yep.
committed to this because we talked about it. And KJ's like, if
Yep.
we meet the sales goal, there's going to be Cazimi tattoo. And when I got the photo or the footage of you getting a tattoo, I was like, hell yes. Because we love commitment, you know, like we love the commitment and the follow through. And we also love reaching our
Yeah.
goals. So,
Yeah. I'm
Cazimi.
here for hire for anybody that
Yes.
needs a tattoo for
Oh
a
my
goal.
gosh.
To help you reach your goals.
Yes.
I did it mostly just for Ava, though, really, if I'm being honest here.
Yeah,
Honestly,
I know. I
I'm
think she did do
honored.
it for you, Ava.
I'm honored.
Yep.
Yes.
Maybe I'll get
And
Ava next.
what'd you say?
You don't even have my name tattooed. She said maybe I'll get Ava next.
We'll have to figure out what our inside joke is, Bridget, and then
Okay.
like, you know, because it can't be like literal. It has to be a little more abstract.
Yeah.
Yeah, just let your followers know if we have a goal that we could set together. I will accomplish it.
You're
For
volunteering
you.
your body
I think
parts.
getting Ava a lover, and because Bridget's a really good wing woman, so if she
Oh,
finds you a lover this summer,
then
summer
she
lover,
has to get a
you should get a
tattoo.
tattoo.
Or we both have to get a tattoo.
Perfect. Let's. All right.
We'll
We got it on
take.
camera now again. So
I
am I doing
know.
this again now?
Well,
I know.
we will
We'll
we
see.
will sidebar on what the details of this agreement are, but we'll bring it back.
Perfect. Can't
Oh
wait for
my
you to be in
God.
LA.
I know. So soon. So soon. Actually, this summer. And we're going to get into all of the good astrology that's coming up this summer. So cannot wait to see you soon.
Yeah, let's dive into it.
Sounds good, guys. Thanks for
Thanks,
having me.
Bridget. Go Cazimi.
Bye, Ava.
Woo!
Cazimi!
So let's get into the 3-month guide. This is covering the entire summer season from June 20th, 2024 to September 22nd, 2024. And let's just start with summer at a glance, KJ. Like, what's the high level theme? What's summer giving? What at the highest level can we expect in the next few months here?
High level, summer starts off really nice and smooth and cozy. And I do think it is going to be an opportunity for us to ground. And I say that with the context of we just had Jupiter move into Gemini on May 25th. So we're going to have Jupiter in Gemini for the next 12 months. And that is the antithesis of grounding, but it is exciting and it is playful and it's fun and it's about learning and travel and doing new things. And this underneath the gaze of the Cancer sun, I think is going to be a nice combination. So we have Cancer season first, and then we have Leo season, and then we have Virgo season, and that encompasses summer here in Northern Hemisphere where we are. So Cancer season really kind of takes us back into that nostalgia. I always think of like Cancer season as like, you know, your red and white gingham tablecloths and strawberry juice and just I got a barbecue stain on my white t-shirt, that vibe.
Love
Anything
that.
can happen. You might meet your lover at a fair. It's just fireworks, summer romance. It's 4th of July. Makes me want a hot dog real bad. That's Cancer season. And then we move into the heat of summer, and that's Leo season. That's when things get really fun. Everyone's traveling. Everyone's in their hot girl summer. I'm a star. Big, humid hair.
Yeah.
And then we move into Virgo, and that encourages us to settle down and get ready for back to school, back to the harvest. Let's take care of things to prepare for winter to come. Virgo season has that sort of like, I don't want to let this go, grieving feeling. But I think that the first 6 weeks, so from now through July, is that peak perfect old school summer vibe. And then we move into Mercury retrograde, which I love for summer because it does help us turn down and for the reason of rest and relaxation and reset, which is going to be really good to usher us into September, which is when things start to get serious. So we can take August as like a do nothing August, like rest
Mm,
and relax, and then have your fun in July.
okay. I do love the sound of kind of like a slower pace. It feels like everything's been so fast.
Yeah. Gemini season was a time warp.
Mm. It really was.
I think it's Jupiter. I mean, we had Sun, Mercury, Venus. Well, that's typical. Like those travel close together. They're usually in close or similar signs. But this time, this season, this year, they were all together in the same sign at the same time, all in Gemini, and everything just moved so quickly. I felt like I could not catch my breath.
Yeah,
And with Jupiter there, it just enhanced everything.
I feel that. So, okay, summer at a glance. It sounds quite romantic.
I'm manifesting it to be so.
I love the idea of like the old school kind of classic. You said mentioned like the picnic basket or like the tablecloth. And I feel
Yeah,
like that visual just kind of like unlocks so many maybe like childhood summer memories, like having a
yeah.
picnic, eating watermelon outside in the sun, like just I don't know, like really having nowhere to be.
I think so. And with Cancer season, because Cancer is going to square, which means make a hard angle to everything that's in Aries and Libra. And that's where the North and South node are, and Chiron is and has been for a long time. But I do think Cancer season is kind of that friction that we get from that square is going to say, let's kind of be nostalgic. Let's look at the past and let's look at the future and let's kind of sit here in between the two in the present, if you will, and enjoy that and think about, have reflection and also have excitement for what's to come.
Mhm. So, let's break this down a little bit further. Do you want to go by season or do you want to go by like big kind of astrological events or how do you want to
Yeah, let's just go through them over each month. So we have
Okay.
only a few more days left of June,
Yeah.
but we do have Friday, June 21st is the first full moon in Capricorn, and we're going to have a second full moon in Capricorn later on in July. And the first one is at 1 degree Capricorn, and the second one is at 29 degrees Capricorn. And Ava, you and I were just talking about this, that the full moon on 1 degree Capricorn on Friday, the 21st of June, is going to bring up some things that were starting to form around December 23rd, 2022,
Mhm.
because that was a new moon happening at nearly the same degree as this full moon. So you might take a gander back and say, what was happening? And of course, I always say 6 month rule, go back 6 months and see what were you doing. But this one's pretty specific, like at this 2 year period, concluding, bringing everything to light. I guess it's an 18-month period, not a 2 year period.
Who's counting? Yeah, okay. So, and that's interesting because isn't it kind of uncommon to have like the two of the Cancer moons kind of in a row?
It is. And I believe that's what we call a blue moon.
Okay.
Well, I guess it's the astrology blue moon because a blue moon is truly when we have it within the month. So, like, if we had two full moons in a month, the second one would be a blue moon.
Mm-hmm.
But I also look at it as like, well, if we have two full moons in the same sign, that is rare because it's 28 degrees apart always. So it has to always be like one's at 1 degree and one's at 29 degrees.
Mm,
It is rare. So you almost can say like once in a blue moon.
totally.
At this new moon, or it's a full moon, so you want to look back. You're not setting intentions yet. But it is the solstice, and solstices are very special ceremonies. They have been celebrated for so many thousands of years Because here it's the longest day of the year, and then down under it's the shortest day of the year. And these are like the extreme polarities of light and dark. And there's always the reminder that the counterpart is coming. Because it's always like, this is the most extreme it's going to get of this type. And 6 months from now, we are going to be at the complete counterpart in full darkness.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2 weeks later, we have the new moon in Cancer. And that's going to be on the 5th, Friday the 5th of July. So right after that, Jennifer Coolidge moment, 4th of July holiday, fireworks and hot dogs. Then we move into the new moon at 14 Cancer. And I always say, try to make your new moon intentions concise, future oriented, the way that you write them on paper. There's a
Mm-hmm.
beautiful ritual of the hand pen paper connection. And I always say, try to make it in alignment with the sign. So Cancer rules everything from family, nostalgia, home, the past, self-care, nurturing, intuition, connection, motherhood, lineage, heritage. How many other ways can I say home and family and the past, things that make you feel cozy and comfortable, things that remind you of yesteryear. All of those are Cancer related. So you might be like, oh, I really want to manifest a new home. That's me. That's what I'll be doing. Maybe you're like, I really want to have a baby. That's a new moon Cancer wish for somebody. Maybe you want to sell your house. Maybe that's a new moon
Mm-hmm.
Cancer wish for someone like
Mm-hmm.
Ava.
Like me.
Yeah. So think about things related to home and family and making your personal life higher quality. And then if you know a little bit more about astrology, you can look and see what house of the chart Cancer falls in. And then that will give you more insight into what you should focus on. Like for me, it's my 8th house, which
Mm.
is contracts and taboos. It's a weird one. The 8th house is strange. It's not a great example. But for you,
Mm-hmm.
it's like your 3rd house of media, because you're a Taurus rising. So it's your 3rd house of media, podcasting,
Mm-hmm.
um, magazines. You get the gist. You can Google it and be like, what do the 12 houses mean, and see where this falls in your chart.
Yeah. So when we look at the theme overall and then where it hits our personal charts, do we
Yeah.
layer these subjects or are they kind of separate? Like maybe I do,
Yeah.
a
See
couple
whatever
of
resonates to you.
manifestations. Okay. Yeah.
Because you're like, maybe I really don't need anything with home, right? Maybe you're like, okay, like you do, I do, but maybe you don't. And so you're like, oh, well, it's in my 7th house of relationships. And that's really what I want to manifest is relationship. So,
Yeah.
Capricorn risings, this is your chance to set intentions about love.
A PSA.
PSA.
Well, because this is a 6-month cycle, right? So I think I
Hmm.
started writing my manifestations down for January.
Yeah.
Does that mean I'm going to be able to start tracking some of these on the pod?
Yeah. Yeah. You should be able to probably next month.
Okay. I'm interested to see like how they kind
Maybe,
of
maybe
shake
this
out.
month.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only like emotional turmoil, I mean, okay, backtracking. Because Capricorn full moons are sometimes some of the most emotional time periods. Because if you break down what is a full moon, it's when the sun and the moon are exactly opposite. And so if we have a full moon in Capricorn, it means that the sun is in Cancer. So we're dealing with big, intense feelings that feel emotionally constipated and stuck.
Mm.
So I think Capricorn full moons can be kind of frustrating experiences. Like last year they were. I remember getting into a huge fight with my family. It was fine, but that happened at that time. And they can be difficult. So I'll say that the full moons themselves can be challenging periods that usually last for like 3 to 4 days maximum, give or take a couple of days around the full moon. But we do have this event known as a moon wobble the first week of July.
Okay.
Moon wobbles are when I like to think of it as exactly like it sounds. The moon is unstable. And if the moon's unstable, our emotions are unstable. But what's actually happening in the sky is that the sun, wherever it's transiting, is making an aspect to the nodes, the north and south node. So, like I said, this season is going to be squaring Aries north node, Libra south node. You don't have to
Hmm.
worry about the logistics of it. Just know that it makes people more emotionally intense and expressive based on what they're feeling and sometimes out of control. So, if that sounds like you, don't plan really hard emotional things for this first week of July. Don't have those
Hmm.
hard conversations. And then allow yourself to actually feel your feelings and release them. That's been a big theme, especially with Cancer season starting. It's like, just feel. Like, it's
Mm,
okay. You can become more sensitive.
yeah,
You won't die. If you resensitize, you won't die. Your brain might try to trick you into thinking that you will, but you won't.
I feel like you're speaking directly to me. Oops. Okay. Feelings noted.
Yeah, what are those?
All right. So we've got the moon wobble to have on the radar.
Yeah, once you get through that week, then enjoy. Enjoy yourself. It's July. Right on the 21st, we move into the second full moon. So, like I said, give or take a few days. That weekend could be a little emotionally active, turbulent, chaotic. Because right after that, the next day is the sun moving into Leo, which gives us Leo season. And I always say the day before that transition is always kind of nuts because the sun is sitting at the 29th degree of that sign. So it's hanging out at 29 degrees of Cancer. And that's called the anaretic degree.
Mm,
Basically, just know you get the full range. You get the bad and the good and everything in between when you're dealing with the anaretic degree. So I would say it's just Sunday the 21st seems like a cuckoo day.
stay home.
Don't plan anything important. But July 22nd brings Leo season, and Leo is the stabilizing force of summer. It's like, okay, Cancer initiated us into summer, and now we have officially arrived.
Hmm.
We're glowing, we're glistening with sweat. Our hair is so humid, it's thick, air is balmy. I think I'm in the jungle mentally right now, but that's Leo for you. I'm just a prowling cat.
I kind of like it.
I love Leo season, and it always brings us up to the new moon in August. The Leo new moon is on the 4th, and so kind of like I said about the Cancer new moon, you do want to look and see where's Leo hitting in your house. But Leo themes might be, how can I put myself out there more? To date, to find friends, to get better networking and job opportunities. Do I need to get up the guts to pitch myself? Do I need to make content even though I don't want to put myself out there? Use a Leo new moon to set intentions to act like you're the main character of your life. That's also the day that Mercury retrograde begins. So when you're setting your intentions, I am giving you this very specific detail. Try to do so between, and I'm going to give you these times that you need to convert to your time zone. So Google time zone converter from Los Angeles to wherever you're at, because I'm giving you this in Los Angeles time because that's where I am.
Hmm.
4:13 a.m. to 9:56 p.m. Los Angeles time. That's your window for new moon intentions that really have power. Set your goals between those hours. It's a long time. You can have a little lunch break where you sit and do this. But I
Hmm.
like to say do it before the Mercury retrograde because sometimes you're not as clear headed when you're
Hmm.
setting those goals.
That makes sense.
This Mercury retrograde starts in Virgo, so it's going to start strong. It's at home in Virgo. So when we think of Mercury retrograde, it gets so much more of a bad rap than what actually happens. It's always going to encourage us to slow down. Mercury retrograde happens at the exact same ratio that we sleep. Use it as a time to rest and evaluate rather than push forward and actually create and execute on things. It doesn't mean that you can't do. A lot of people have Mercury retrograde paralysis, and I don't want that to be the case. I just want you to think of this as like, if I were in a lull period, what would that look like? And that's what you should focus on during a Mercury retrograde. Like, take old projects, bring it out of the vault.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think I've been on both sides of that coin. Like sometimes I kind of let Mercury retrograde be my excuse for everything. And it feels good. I'm not going to lie. And other times I've worked with it where one example is I rebranded this show during a Mercury retrograde. And so it was like rebrand, revisit, revise. And
Yeah.
like I was really working with it and I felt like it was effective. So it can go
Yeah.
both
That's a
ways.
really good point. Everything that begins with the RE suffix you can do during retrograde. It does go both ways.
Yeah.
I think when you're like trying to really push ahead and like be like, I'm forcing this to happen, even though like some of the things are not really clicking into place, and you're like, okay, I'm really forcing this to happen. I really need this to go exactly as I want it to and execute on this perfect plan. It's not going to happen because there's other things kind of like other people are dropping the ball. It's also a good time to repair things.
Oh, another RE.
Repair your genes, repair your marriage.
It's like the Mercury retrograde tagline. Repair your
Yeah,
genes, repair
yeah,
your
that
marriage. Are we so okay, when this is happening in August?
August 4th through the
Mhm.
28th.
Okay.
And then we have the Lionsgate portal. And I love to talk about this and clear up all the junk that you see on the internet around it.
Yes.
Everyone's going to say that the Lionsgate portal is the best day of the year for manifestation. And it's not. It's just not.
Why not? Well, why is it and why is it not?
Well, so everyone thinks that 8-8 is the Lionsgate portal.
Mhm.
Sometimes it is, but the true Lionsgate portal is actually a degree mark. There's actually 4 portals. And they're all in the middle of the seasons. So Scorpio has a portal, Aquarius has a portal, Taurus has a portal, and Leo has a portal. And these are the 15-degree marks of those signs. It means that it is the exact midpoint of the season.
Mhm.
People like Lionsgate though because I think it's just really romantic. Like if you think about the imagery of like the lion, it's like it's so perfectly new age that people gravitate towards it. But I'm like, why aren't people talking about Eagles Gate portal? Why are we not
Mm.
talking about the Bulls Gate?
Mhm.
Like there's these other times that are just as quote unquote auspicious. Um, you're always going to be the luckiest if you initiate something at the new moon or the first couple of days after the new moon. And this is the first couple of days after the new moon, but we did start that retrograde. So I would say just stick to Sunday the 4th between 4:13 a.m. LA time to 9:56 p.m. LA time and use that for your manifesting and kick rocks at the Lionsgate portal. Because
Okay.
what's happening is it's when the sun reaches 15 degrees of Leo. And sometimes this doesn't fall on 8-8, but when it does, it's like, oh, that's so cute. It's tongue in cheek. Like, oh, 8-8, it's
Mhm.
angel numbers.
Yep.
But this is actually a really old Gaelic holiday. And it's about enjoying the fertility of the harvest, the land, and the sun. One of the big rituals of this is about baking bread and gardening
Mm.
and earth cleanup.
What's like a cute summer
It's a
bread?
holiday about abundance. Oh, okay. My dad used to make this bread that a family friend passed down. That's like called friendship bread, and it's like a form of sourdough, and it's kind of sweet. So I think like sweet breads, like not the organs, like actually sweet bread,
Bread.
pan dulce.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Or
I can
like
get on board.
focaccia bread where you like put flowers in the top because focaccia is so easy to make.
Is it?
Yeah, it's so easy because like you need a starter for sourdough and like
Oh.
all these. I don't know how to make any other types of bread except for focaccia. Like you can make that in just a couple hours.
Just a
It's super
couple
easy.
hours. That sounds
And
laborious.
it's not hours of active labor. It's like you start it. It takes like 10 minutes to start it, and then you sit it in the sun, which is really cute for this ritual. Actually, I think
Okay.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna
Okay.
do a whole focaccia bread ritual at the Lionsgate portal this year. But yeah, just put it in the sun, let it rise, and then you just pop that thing in the oven.
Okay. And decorate with flowers.
Yeah,
I like that.
yeah.
I'm
Fresh
coming
herbs,
over and you can
mushrooms,
make it
whatever.
for me.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah.
What else aside from our hot take on Lionsgate? What else is happening in the month of August?
Yeah, sorry for that tangent. Um,
No, it's perfect.
but somebody's got to say it.
It's perfect. We love it.
August 19th, full moon in Aquarius. I love that. So, Aquarius full moon is going to be at 27 degrees. It's going to be bringing up things back from the new moon on February 9th of earlier this year. So
Mm,
you can kind of think, because if you started setting your intentions, you can be like, okay, what was I working towards at February 9th? What did I put out in the world and how am I doing on it?
mm,
Because sometimes those manifestations don't come true yet. Like I had goop on my vision board for like 7 years. It takes a long time for some
mm.
things, but just keep putting it out there when the new moon aligns with it. So this full moon is bringing up stuff that you might have been wishing or setting goals for around February 9th, and you'll have more information about it and more progress towards it, if not the full completion at the full moon on Monday, the 19th of August.
So if it didn't fully manifest, it's still in the works, but
Yeah,
we can check in and see where things are at.
good things take time. Remember, we're still under Mercury retrograde this month. Like, we're not trying to
Mm,
rush things,
okay,
we're receiving.
that's true.
Retrograde energy, like, visually reminds me of like a gaping hole. It's like we're not outwardly pushing. It's like you take a fishing net and it's like how much can you like scoop up? It's like you're receiving. It's like you're open and you're kind of like taking in things rather than like pushing out things.
I like that visual. That
Unless it
helps.
starts with an RE, like a rebrand.
Right.
But then that retrograde ends on August 28th.
Okay.
Then we move into September.
No.
On the first, we
No.
have Uranus retrograde and Pluto retrograde. Pluto retrogrades into Capricorn that day. So these are two different things. Do not do to the other planet retrogrades what you've done to Mercury retrograde,
Okay.
which is catastrophize it,
Okay.
society. Outer planets, meaning everything from Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, they retrograde every year for 3 to 5 months, depending on the planet. Like they are always going to retrograde. It's not that big of a deal.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are retrograde for half the year. Like that's really normal. So we're not going to say, oh, I'm not going to do this for the whole duration of that retrograde. Please don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
I would say Uranus retrograde, the day it begins, can usually feel kind of stimulated, shaky, surprising, disruptive. And that's Sunday, September 1st. And that's also the day that Pluto goes back into Capricorn. Just think of this as more of like a collective thing. Like, notice what's going on in the news around this day because you might see some really interesting things brewing.
Okay.
Or just don't watch the news, just dissociate instead. That's always easier. Just kidding, we're feeling things this summer.
Oh, yeah, but by September, we're over that.
That's
Just
true, we are
kidding.
over that. Well, I think the new moon in Virgo on September 2nd is really going to give us that fresh, clear start of like, okay, we're done with Mercury retrograde. Summer pretty much feels like it's over. What are we going to do to organize our life in September?
Mm,
And I love that because Virgo is about what are the systems that are going to support me to be the best version of me? What do I need to do to support my routines, to support my health, both mentally and physically? Where do I need to optimize my life? And so, Virgo new moons, I usually like to start a cleanse. Nothing
mm.
crazy. I just like to do stuff that supports my digestive tract and lymph. So, if I'm having fun partying and indulging all summer, then this is the time where I'm like, okay, we're up in the fiber, we're up in the lemon water. And Virgo loves that.
That's a great idea.
And then we have our next eclipse season starting in September. That's fun. So this eclipse is really important, Ava, because it's the first one of the Virgo Pisces series that's going to carry us through the next 2 years.
Oh, wow. That sounds big.
So the last 2 years, we've had eclipses. Well, last 18, yeah, we'll say like 18 months. We've had eclipses on the Aries and Libra axis, and it's been all about relationships and autonomy and going out on your own. I've seen a lot of people quit their jobs and start businesses and get divorced. New beginnings from
Yeah.
severance. Um, this axis is going to be interesting. Virgo, like I said, is about systems and taking action to do the right thing, to be of service, to organize and optimize and make strategic plans to prepare for the future, to bring people together and to create the best outcomes. Pisces is not planning and not systems and none of the organization, but it's about the heart that's behind it and wanting to do things better, wanting to unite people and create something that feels meaningful and deep. And this lunar North Node eclipse is in Pisces on September 17th.
So, how do you think? Do you have any predictions on how this is going to play out, this first round of eclipse?
That's a good question. I'm thinking look back to March 10th and think about what you might have been putting into place. This will deliver it because it is a full moon
Mm,
eclipse. Sometimes with eclipses, we get the shadow side of that planet. The
mm-hmm.
shadow side of Pisces to me is like, I guess one manifestation would be like religious psychosis. And I really hope that we don't have like a lot of that kind of going on in the collective where people are like kind of fighting over nonsense as we try to transition out of the 2,000-year-old cycle of like the age of Pisces. I feel like there's going to be people that are really, really gripping onto this idea of like America is a Christian nation and it's not. And like, you know, all these ideas of like, you need to believe in my religion
Mm,
and you need to do this because I'm worried about your soul. And it's like, well, just let people be at peace. Like, believe what you want to believe, but like, don't bring it into politics, don't bring it into schools, and keep it to yourself. And so I feel like there's going to be some potential like religious conflict. I
mm-hmm.
hope not, but that's one thing that can come up. And I think people are going to be kind of questioning their relationship to addiction, to alcohol, to substances, to screens, anything that provides an emotional escape.
Mm,
Even with Saturn and Pisces this year, I've been thinking a lot about like, what's my relationship to like too much screen time? Like, am I going to look back and regret like how many hours I spend on the phone?
yeah.
A lot of people have gone sober.
Yeah. There are.
So maybe more things at this full moon that will confront the things that we are trying to avoid. Because Pisces is the escape artist. It's like the octopus that knows how to get out of the aquarium.
I'll be interested to see how these themes kind of play out because it definitely seems like, considering everything else going on in the world, that it's like kind of like a perfect situation to be exploring these themes, which is just so interesting with, how the timing of all of this works.
Yeah. So that eclipse portal is going to open around September 10th, but the eclipse is not going to hit until the 17th. And
Mm,
then we have a 2 week period before the next eclipse, but that's going to be technically in the fall
right.
because what's going to happen is we're going to move into the equinox just a few days after that.
Mm-hmm.
Sun will enter Libra Sunday the 22nd, and that is the equinox.
Yeah. So it seems like maybe there's more activity that's going to kind of hit this fall here.
Yeah, fall's going to bring a lot. I think fall is going to mimic the washing machine of spring.
No.
Which is why I'm like, this summer feels really light. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
retrograde, moon wobble, whatever, but like, it's not that much. Like, really try to enjoy your summer.
Yeah. Yeah, because it feels like all kind of very like easy breezy. We have our full moons, we have our new moons always, of course. A little retrograde.
Yeah, I think it's going to be good.
We have to make the most of it.
I actually don't think travel during Mercury retrograde is that bad. You just need to do it at a slower pace. So, July and August, despite the retrograde, are good times for travel, for like pulling back and resting and relaxing. Like, do your adventure travel during July and do your restful vacation during August, whichever
Okay.
one you have planned. Maybe you're lucky enough to have both.
Yeah. Okay, so active July, restful August.
Like, even if you just say, okay, in the middle of the month, I'm going to take a long weekend off and I'm going to get a massage, binge TV, and order in just to like give myself a break from everything. Like, that can be a very healthy retrograde staycation.
Mm. I love the idea of a retrograde staycation. Do we have any other major events for Cancer, Leo, Virgo seasons?
Nothing from the high level. There's always like a little individual transits, which is why the Grove is such a good idea to put in your
Yes,
calendar.
that's true.
But there, other than that moon wobble, there's really nothing like big overarching
Hmm.
that stands out for the collective to me.
Amazing. Do we want to maybe recap the new moons again? Just the three that we have coming up?
Yeah,
The times, the dates,
yeah,
and the
totally.
themes? Okay. New moons for summer.
First new moon, July 5th
Hmm.
at 3:57 p.m. LA time,
Hmm.
14 degrees Cancer. So that means you want to set your intentions after 3:57 p.m. LA time, because if you do it before, you're going to be under a balsamic moon when the moon is dying in the weakest, and you don't have the auspicious energy of the new beginning to support you.
Hmm.
So keep that in mind. And that's Cancer, and that's home and family and foundations and the past. Maybe you need to reckon with the past, and this is a good time to do it.
Hmm.
Then we have Leo. Leo new moon is in August, August 4th. And that's going to be at 4:13 a.m. Pacific time, LA time. Like I said, Leo helps get you out of the darkness. It helps get you visible, and it encourages you to be a little more bold in your actions. This is a pretty lucky new moon. It's going to be in a really nice 60-degree angle to Jupiter, which is, I think, very auspicious. It's kind of a big, expansive glimpse into the future. I like this. I like this a lot.
This one's your fave.
Mm-hmm. I just like the Jupiter influence there. I feel like that's very hopeful, and it almost feels like being a kid at camp.
Mm, we'll take it.
Like, what kind of mischief are we going to get into? So set your intentions after 4:13 a.m. I won't be up, but if you're in a different time zone, do it after that, converted to your time zone. And then we have our Virgo new moon, and that's going to be on September 2nd at 6:56 p.m. in the evening, LA time. This is at 11 degrees Virgo. And like I said, this is a really good time to start that physical cleanse, digital detox, protect your mental and physical health, get your routines in order. That's our 3 new moons of the summer: Cancer, Leo, Virgo. And you want to set your intentions after that. So for this one in particular,
Hmm.
like, it's going to be 7 o'clock for me, but like for you, it'll be 10. Well, you're going to be in LA. If you're on
Yeah.
the East Coast, it'll be 10 p.m. So set your intentions the next day. Like Tuesday the 3rd is a perfectly viable, fine day to set your intentions.
Okay. That's good to know for those of us who are
Mm-hmm.
paying attention to the details.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And you know what I want to say too is that you don't have to do every single moon. I was
Okay.
so busy at the Gemini new moon. It was right after my grandfather died, and then it was right before I was about to go do a film shoot, and so everything was just, I did not have a single moment to do more than like drink a protein shake. I did not set
Yeah.
intentions, and so I didn't put that pressure on myself. And like, if you're going through a lot in your life, you don't have to punish yourself and be like, oh, I didn't set my intentions. Like, it's fine, just skip a month.
Mm.
Like, it's okay. You don't have to be trying to like move the needle forward all the time. Like, enjoy the present. Just like sit with the present. So you don't have to do every single one of these. If you're like, I really don't know what I want, I'm not trying to manifest anything, that's okay.
Thanks for that permission slip. I feel like the theme of my life right now, excuse me, and for the last several months has been taking the pressure off. And this is just another example of like, if you miss a month, that's okay, babe.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
like, also
it
sometimes I think
is.
too, there's something to like, maybe you didn't deliberately sit down and journal, but you still had something in
Mm-hmm.
mind that you
Yeah.
you're manifesting anyways. So thanks for that call out, because I know I can always use reminders like that. And it's really easy
Yeah.
to get so down on yourself, especially when there's so much conversation around those moments, and then you feel like you've missed the
Yeah.
moment, but it's really not the end of the world.
Totally. And like you said, it's not the end of the world. And I like to sit and look back. So even if it says like, oh, look back to that new moon in Gemini, and I didn't write anything in particular, I still like to look back at my text messages to my friends and family. I like to look at my emails, and I like to look at the screenshots that I might
Mm,
have taken around that time. Because, like you said, even if you haven't actively written something down, you're still planting seeds and brewing things, even if you're completely unaware of it. And sometimes it's cool to just see the hands off process of like, huh, wow, that was the day
yeah.
that so and so showed up in my inbox, and now we're working together 6 months later.
Yeah, totally. Totally. I love the hands on and the hands off combo. And I've actually never thought
Yeah.
to check my text messages. I always go to my photo, my camera roll, and I always go to my calendar.
Yeah.
But now I'm going to use text messages too. That's a really good idea.
Well, they've made it easier because you can search now on iPhone. Like, you used to not be able to search like
Hmm.
keywords and stuff on text messages.
Yeah, that's true. Now we all have to text each other manifestations for the new moon. So you have your
Yeah, I
keywords.
have those records. Yeah, having keywords. I always take a photo of what I write down or screenshots for important astrological events when I'm like, I want to remember what was going on at this time.
Yeah. See, this is the upside to technology.
Yeah. I mean, we're air signs. We love technology. What are you talking about?
I know we love it. I'm just saying for the general public, there are some upsides to technology.
Yeah.
I think technology gets a lot of hate. So we're the ones who've created it. It's a mirror, it's a reflection of us.
Yeah.
So,
I love it. Speaking of mirrors,
yes.
I'm sure you've seen this thing on TikTok where everyone's like, summer 2024 is giving summer 2016.
Yes. Yes. I've seen that.
And I disagree. And I made a reel about it and it went viral. And I was kind of pissed because I make so much content. And I'm like, this is such a dumb reel that I made. Like, one glass of wine in, like late at night on a Friday, like in my bathroom, and I didn't give it two thoughts, and I made this, and it got over 1 million views, and all these people were commenting. But the premise of it, like, isn't that just the funny truth about social media?
It's hysterical because it's like that was you at your most unfiltered, genuine self. And of course, that's what went viral. Of course.
Yeah, like, yeah, that would make sense.
But what is this theory? Because what is up with all of that and what's actually true?
I think it's just a trend. I think it's just like that was the last time a lot of young millennials feel like life was good, honestly.
Mm, summer
So,
2016.
mhm. Our faces were beat with so much makeup, and we all had like corset bra tops and choker necklaces,
Hmm.
and chain smokers were on repeat, and our
Yes.
eyebrows were so big and way overdone,
Oh,
and everyone was wearing neutrals. And it was a good time, and I think that's why people are going back to that, because it was kind of like the last moment before it felt like technology, like social media technology, really really took over. Like, maybe there was still some of that like youthful rawness, I don't know.
yeah.
But my counter to it was that actually our trends, things that are in style, things that we're gravitating to culturally, are actually ruled by Jupiter cycles, and those run on 12 years. So this summer is going to have pop culture similarities to the summer of 2012, because that's the last time Jupiter was in Gemini. And then someone said, oh, that aligns with the Chinese zodiac. And I said, yes, it does, because Jupiter cycles are also the Chinese zodiac cycles.
Oh,
Year of the
okay.
Dragon.
There we go. Oh, I'll have to think a little harder about 2012.
You know what the first thing comes to mind, though?
What?
Lana Del Rey blew
Yes.
up.
Yeah. Was that also Channel Orange?
I don't know.
Was that 2011 or 2012? There was a summer in there where it was like The soundtrack was absolutely Channel Orange by Frank Ocean.
Yeah, it was probably around the same time.
Yeah.
I think it was.
Oh man.
Yeah, I remember that year. I was just listening to Ride on repeat,
Yes.
and it was the best of times and the worst of times. But we had Lana, and it was like it was kind of this like it's patriotic
Actually, that was probably the last time we were collectively patriotic.
without like now. If you say I'm patriotic, people give you the side eye,
Yeah.
rightfully so.
Yeah. But that Lana, oh, yep. I see it. And the music video with ASAP Rocky.
Yes, the Jackie and JFK video,
Yep.
national
Patriotism.
anthem, so good.
National
Yeah,
anthem, literally. Actually, I do
she is
listen to
such
that
a
on 4th of July.
genius. Yeah, like that is my national anthem.
That
She's so
is
smart. Like the rest of the world is I'm like I know she's popular, but the rest of the world is sleeping on how poetic and how brilliant her social strategy has been to take this idea of America. Like I could write a whole dissertation. I'm not going to go into it today, but essentially think about Jupiter and Gemini and how there's like undertones and layers, and it speaks to so much more than just what you see on the surface. And I think our next pop culture princess is coming just in time for Jupiter and Gemini.
Chapel
Chapel
Brown.
Brown.
Yes. Jinx.
Absolutely.
It has to be.
Because she's doing the same. It's not Lana, but she's in there up there wearing a drag costume of the Statue of Liberty, and there's fireworks from a baseball game, and there's an American flag, and then she's like, trans rights and women's rights, and everyone loves her, and the
Yeah.
music slaps. Like, how can you not? Like,
Yeah.
it's giving the same energy. If you look a little deeper, it's giving the exact same energy as Lana 2012.
Wow. That's an excellent observation. And I completely agree with you on all of it. And Chapel as the Statue of Liberty, I was like, good morning to Chapel and Chapel only, like for eternity,
Yeah,
because
I love her.
I like that you've compared, I like that you say it's the same kind of signature as Lana. I've also heard commentary around like she's the next Lady Gaga. And I'm like, I don't know.
And there's too much Americana culture there to be like, yeah, of course, like she's like the next gay icon. So people are like, Cher and Gaga. Yeah, sure. But it's more of like she's speaking to the Americana spirit. Like she's Midwest princess.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like Lana Del Rey is like truck stop princess. And so it's come about at the perfect moments in time. And you know what else is interesting? Is people are talking about like the world ending,
Mm.
and people are talking about the world ending in 2012. And there's all
Oh,
these parallels to like this year and 2012 because of this Jupiter Gemini transit.
I'm sold. Is there anything else that you want to add to wrap up the summer forecast?
I don't think so.
Okay. Is there anything new that you're up to that we need to know about? Any more tattoo wagers to make?
Well, TBD. Um,
Yes.
but I did just discount the Grove because it is from March to March, and now we are
Oh.
one season in, so it is now discounted. So you can go get it for cheaper than the sticker price and test it out and fall in love and realize
Mhm.
why you needed this all along.
Yeah, it's so helpful. I have it in my calendar and I refer to it on a daily basis. I know when to avoid booking my important meetings during the void moons. Sometimes it helps me answer what the hell is the astrology today, that this is happening. And I really just love that for all of the kind of key moments, you've written like, it smells like this and it tastes like that and it sounds like this. Like it's just sort of like a fun little, it's almost like a fortune cookie. I'm like, I open my calendar, I'm like, what do we get today? So everyone should
Yeah, I
download
love
their
that.
copy of the Grove Almanac. Even more lovely that you can get it
Thanks for
at.
that endorsement.
No, it's true. You know, I wouldn't say it if it wasn't true. So,
I know, that is true. If Ava likes it, it's cool.
thank you.
I
But
mean, you're an Aquarius. Like, that's a fact. If you like it, it's cool.
I receive. Thank you. Thank you so much, KJ.
Thanks, Ava.
I love sitting down, chatting astrology with you on camera, off camera, always. Um, you're the best. And so I'm so glad that you could give us an incredible summer forecast here. I'm also glad that it seems like we're going to have just like a nice few months. And I'm really excited to recap and debrief in the fall. And we'll see what other sorts of exciting
What's
things we
next?
got into. Exactly.
Thanks for having me. I love being on the More Pod.
Listen to the More Pod every Wednesday as I share the things that make me more me and discover a thing or two to make you more you.